My friend, if you're struggling finding, vetting, training, and managing virtual team members for your real estate business, I have the solution for you. Call Magicians is the premier virtual assistant company in the real estate industry. And basically what they'll do is allow you to focus on closing more deals and doing the things you love while they handle the work for you. Head over to callmagicians.com and see if you're a good fit to work together. And make sure you use the promo code FLIPEMPIRE for a 20% discount off your startup fee. And by the way, the owner's a friend of mine and shares tons of value, gives a lot of useful tips on episode 540. So check it out at flipempire.com/540.
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
New Year's resolutions suck. There, I said it. What's going on, guys? Alex Pardo here. I appreciate you hopping on and tuning in to another Flip Empire show as we are on the eve of a new year here. And if you're listening to this when it's getting released, many people, I have so many conversations, coaching calls, and I connect with people across the country who have the right mindset about making 2022 the best year of their life. And when I ask them what their goals are, oftentimes I hear, "Hey, here's my New Year's resolution." And what I can tell you about resolutions is that a resolution for most people is a delusion. And the reason I say that is, before I hopped on this episode, I wanted to do a little bit of research. Usually I like to come on here and just kind of share my raw, unfiltered thoughts. And I came across several statistics, one of which, according to a study, 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, by the end of the year, only 9% feel they are successful in keeping them. What are some of the reasons for failures? 35% of participants who failed their New Year's resolutions said they had unrealistic goals. 33% of participants who failed didn't keep track of their progress. 23% forgot about their resolutions, and only about 1 in 10 people who failed said that they made too many resolutions. So common, resolutions: eating healthier, losing weight, making more money, saving more money, etc., so on and so on. What I find is that the average person makes resolutions. Successful people have a relentless commitment and consistency to their goals and don't fall off after a week or two. I was talking to a buddy of mine who worked a lot in the health and fitness industry and at one point owned a gym. And he said, most of our sales came December, and our gyms were always packed January and February. But then it's interesting, March and April was sharing with me that it just got there wasn't as many people, and then so on and so on. And then you would tend to see a spike before the summer because people are trying to get their beach pods going. And then, August, September, it starts to fall off. And then by the end of the year, during the holidays, it really falls off until the new year. And it's interesting, over the course of the last several episodes, I'm talking about episode 580, where I talked about goal setting in the January letter, episode 581, where, I talked about investing in yourself, into assets, marketing, and people, episode 583, how to make 2022 your best year ever. Talked about gratitude. Again, practical tips for 2022, getting clarity and focus, being very intentional. I want to use this episode to kind of tie it all together because if you have a resolution, chances are I'm not a dream killer. I'm somebody who's here to encourage and uplift you. That's part of the reason and my drive and motivation for doing this podcast. But I can tell you, if you have a resolution, you're already setting yourself up for failure. Reframe it. Drop the word resolution and just say you're going to have a relentless commitment to execution. You're going to have a relentless commitment to execution. I'm assuming at this point you already have your goals set for 2022. If for whatever reason you don't, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is right now. So if you don't have your goals set, take a piece of paper out. There's so much power to writing them down. You're so much more likely to achieve them by writing them down. In the last episode, I talked about somebody who puts them all over his house mirror. I shared how I actually put it as a lock on my iPhone, so I'm constantly seeing it. So make sure that you have written goals, but drop the word resolution and just adopt the mindset that you're going to have a relentless commitment to execution, right? And that doesn't mean you're not going to fall off. That doesn't mean that you're not going to stumble. You are. Sometimes we hop on a road and you put an address into your GPS and you hit a construction site, or you might hit a DUI stop, or something is going to get in your way. But hopefully, God willing, you still get to your destination because you course correct, right? We talked about the analogy of the pilot on the last episode, 582. So make sure, guys, that if you haven't heard those last episodes, make sure you plug in, because this is going to tie it all together. Drop the resolution. Make sure that you have accountability partners in place, and then your goals need to scare you a bit. You need to look at your goals and saying, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. Now, I think you also have to dream big, think big, but you don't want to make your goals so far out there, at least I'm talking in the short term, right? Like the next 3, 6, 12 months, that, March comes around, you're so far behind, and then it actually backfires on you and you don't do anything, right? So like if you're accustomed to making $100,000 a year, it might not be realistic to say, hey, I'm going to make $100 million this year. Right? I'm not one to say, hey, you can't do something. In fact, in our house with our girls, that's a bad word, can't. But don't set yourself up for failure. If you're making $100,000, maybe you want to 10x your goal, but you don't want to 1,000x your goal, right? At least not in the short term. Maybe that's a 5-year goal for you. So just some things to consider here. But, it's interesting. One of my coaching clients, just incredible couple. They just recently, about 3-4 weeks ago, they just closed the biggest deal in their life, the biggest deal in their career. And I'm not going to share with you the exact number, but let's just say it's more money than 99% of real estate investors make in an entire year. It's more money than probably 90% of real estate investors make over a 2 to 3 year period on one transaction. And I was talking to them, and I said, and they've been in business for many years. It's interesting, when you hear somebody talk about a massive deal, life-changing money, or you see it on a show, you don't see the blood, the sweat, and the tears that went into that. You don't see the consistency and the effort and the sacrifice and the failures, them getting kicked in the teeth all those years. And you just see, hey, this person just made X amount of dollars, right? Life-changing money. And it's kind of like that saying, it took me 10 years, it took me 15 years, it took me 20 years to become an overnight success. And on the last episode, I keep alluding to the last episode because I really want to just tie it in together. We talk about the wrong mindset is having a microwave society type mindset, where you don't want to go through the fire to get what it is you want. And it's reframing and understanding that it's going through the fire, it's overcoming adversity, it's learning from those experiences that makes you into the person who attracts and achieves everything it is you want, right? One of the reasons I don't play the lotto is because it's just bad math. The statistics are just completely against you. B, I don't know that I ever would want to win the lotto because I wouldn't feel as if I earned it, right? And maybe you hear that and you say, Alex, that's crazy. If I have the opportunity to win the lotto, like give it to me all day and twice on Sunday. And maybe, right? But like, I want to know that I earned something. Why? Because I want to know that I'm the type of person that is able to accomplish making X amount of dollars or impacting thousands or hundreds of thousands and millions of people, right? Like, it's who you become in the process. And that's why one of the reasons I think resolutions are just, it's a failed mindset. It's a resolution is not a commitment to excellence. It's not a commitment to execution. A resolution lacks consistency for the majority of people, which is why I'm encouraging you to drop that word if you have a New Year's resolution. Maybe your word for the year, which I talked about again in episode 582, maybe your word for the year is consistency, or it's execution, or it's relentless, right? Think about what word can tie in everything that you want to accomplish this year. But anyways, back to my friend and coaching client. He closed this massive deal, and we started talking about it. I said, what was it you did? What was oftentimes people think it's a new, sexy, unknown underground marketing channel, right? Or it's this list. What's the best list, Alex? I get that question all the time. What are the best marketing channels, lead sources? Like, what's the magic script to get people to sell you their house at 7 cents on the dollar? And the truth is, it doesn't exist. What's the best list? They're all the best list. But are you consistent, right? And are you course correcting along the way? So I was having a conversation, and without getting into too much detail, he actually presented on our Ascend monthly mastermind call how he's been getting, how he has sold multiple properties this year for big profits. I'm talking 6-figure profits from, and essentially what he's found the niche and he's gotten really good at, he and his fiance and their entire team, is finding whale sellers. In other words, finding sellers that have a large portfolio that they're looking to liquidate because they're at a certain stage of their life, or because they have a life event that happens. And long story short, his team, his acquisition manager, was able to get a large portfolio of properties under contract at a deep discount because they were able to listen, number one, and ask key questions. And I'll just kind of share with you one little tip. One of the things that I think people do when they market is they exclude the entities, they exclude the LLCs, and they just focus on owner occupants, or they just focus on absentee owners. And I think that's a mistake. Include in your marketing businesses, include entities, because oftentimes these whale sellers own these portfolio, these package of properties under their business, under their LLC. And I think by excluding the marketing, you're shooting yourself in the foot from putting yourself in position to get a call from somebody who maybe is interested in selling one property, but by asking the right questions and by listening is the operative word here. You're hearing for what they're not saying. And you're hearing to see, is this the only property this person has, or do they have multiple properties? This particular, my coaching client, my buddy, his acquisitions manager heard that the seller says, oh, I'm looking to sell this one, or this property has been a pain in the butt. And that indicates that they own additional property. So I'll just leave you with that one tip. It's so important to be an active listener. And if you have an acquisitions manager, if you have a virtual assistant that's talking to sellers, or a lead manager, it's so important that you continue to pour into them via training on a daily basis. I know the Grant Cardone organization, I think I heard they're required to do 60 minutes of sales training every morning. Every single person in their organization is built to sell. And it's because part of their culture, whether you like him or not, part of their culture, part of their training is 60 minutes of sales training every single morning. So what are you implementing in your business? What are you consuming on a daily basis to sharpen your skills, to acquire a new skill set that's going to put you in position to get that big deal, or to make life-changing money? People always think there's a magic bullet. And I got news for you. The magic bullet is consistency. That's the magic bullet, my friends. It's just being consistent with the right actions. Now, you might not know what the right actions are, and that's why you got to continue to put the work in. That's why you got to surround yourself with coaches and mentors, be a part of a high-level community, a mastermind like Ascend. You want to surround yourself with people that can help you spot or see the blind spots, because you don't know what you don't know. And then you have to have a plan of action. You have to be flexible with that plan. And then again, it's a commitment to relentless execution. That's the takeaway. That's the theme of today's episode, is you want to have a commitment to relentless execution. So that's what I want to leave you with, my friends. Continue to put the work in, continue to do what you got to do. Be consistent with your marketing. Don't turn off your marketing. When you talk to people, or when you market, actually pick up the phone. You'd be surprised how many times every now and then I'll see something and I'm in the mood to kind of just connect with an investor, maybe build a new relationship. You never know where it may lead to. And I'll call and I get a voicemail, or people don't pick up the phone. It drives me crazy, because we spend so much time, energy, and money on marketing, and yet we don't even have somebody picking up the phone. And I get it. This isn't a debate about, well, my system is driving them to voicemail and then calling them back. It's not even about that. It's just about connecting with people, and it's about listening. So that's what I got for you on today's episode. If you're not subscribed to the Flip Empire Show, make sure that you do that. flipempire.com/podcast. Got a lot of cool things coming up for you on the show. So I look forward to just chatting with you on the next one. Have an amazing time. I will talk to you soon. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed that Flip Empire episode and got a lot of value out of it. Make sure to check the show notes page for any resources that were mentioned. And speaking of resources, honestly, I don't think I've done the best job of sharing with you my top curated, highly recommended tools and resources that I use in my business or have used in my business. In some cases, these are affiliate relationships with people that I highly trust and respect. And I know these tools and resources can help you and your business go to the next level. And as an ethical bribe, if you decide to try out one of these resources using my link, I will go ahead and send you an unadvertised bonus. I'll send you something of high value. All you got to do is shoot me an email, alex@flipempire.com. Go ahead and let me know that you tried out this resource, and however I can help you getting started with that, chances are that I know it very, very well and currently use it or have used it. So make sure to check that out, flipempire.com/resources. And if I can be of help or service to you in any way, just shoot me an email, alex@flipempire.com, and I will do anything I can for you. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next show.